What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's Repeat back, and it is going to be another broadcast of the NNR Xfinity Series. This starts the second half of their season tonight right here at Gateway, and I'm glad to be joined, as always, by the one and only Rick James TV. That's right, a little bit of changing of the branding, if you hadn't already heard. Rick James, good to have you back here at Gateway, Wednesday night, NNR Xfinity. How you feeling, buddy?
Pete, I am feeling fantastic, so ready for this race at WWT, Worldwide Technology Raceway, as it's now recently known. A fun 90-lap shootout between these 15 Xfinity competitors. It's ready. I'm ready. You're ready. I hope these fans are ready.
So do I, man. It's going to be one hell of a race. With the when the trucks hit the track last night, they went all out, and I tell you what, it's going to be interesting tonight, sir, because everybody was able to go on fuel. They were good to go. The right side, whether the right front or the right rear, was not going to make the rest. So it's going to be interesting to see if these guys have put in the time, put into practice, or if they're going to find out on the back end. We'll have to see. Vols fans out there in chat saying, raise hell, praise Dale, boys. And Grace Save Me, good to see you back as well, as always. We're going to be getting our track invite here. In fact, there it is, the one and only Combat Beast. I'll have one of our onboards tonight. Just went ahead and sent me the invite, so I'm going to send you yours right now. But Rick, this track, like you were talking about in pre-race, little close to Darlington, just a bit flatter.
Just a bit flatter indeed. I was looking at the track map in qualifying earlier, and I just said to myself, this is Darlington. It quite literally just has that egg shape. The corners are pinched on one end and wider at the other. You mentioned, Pete, that it's a bit more flat as well. However, there's a wider racing surface, so where the drivers will have to stay above the hash marks in the Darlington corners, and it's barely wide enough for too wide. Here at WWT, these cars are going to go 3, and there's room, Pete, for 4 wide.
Absolutely room for 3 and 4 wide. There's also room for a new rebranding for you. I'm actually going to go ahead and put that out there in chat, just in case everybody doesn't already follow the one and only Rick James. You're definitely going to want to. Here it is right now, Rick James TV 1. And while you go ahead and click on that, we're going to go through the field. The one and only 8, a Combat Beast. He started last he qualified last. Here he is now starting first. He's going to have the 18 of iRace cleaning that monster Toyota to his outside. Then we got the 38 of Outlaw TN, new guy to NNR, I believe. Don't recognize the name all that much. Then we got the 5 of Little Tank, 44 of Old Baritone Boss, 22 of Yotes King, 15 of King Mathers, no introduction needed whatsoever. 98 of Master Killers, same thing, Old MK, good to see him back on track. 51 of Honeycutt, man is phenomenal, not only here, but over on the iRacing side as well. 13 of Commando Griff, fast every single week, always seems to end up in the top 5 when it really matters. Then we got the 99 of Zachary Jason, making his 3rd or 4th race back to NNR. The 20 of Duramax. Then we got the 1 of Cole 315 with the 9 of his buddy, old hashtag JPA Mafia to his outside. Old Q-Dog. And Rick James, we are back up front. 8's in the clean air. And I'm going to guess this is going to be a second pace lap to maybe bring it down. No, they are up to speed. Just looked like they were going a bit slower for some reason.
Off the restarts, Pete, these drivers need to take their time to make sure they give each other ample room down these straights. The 18 of iRace Clean occupying 2nd place in the Monster Supra. Combat Beast in the 8. Hellman's Camaro will lead lap 1.
Yeah, Combat Beast in lap 1, but like we were talking about a little bit ago, they're going to have to watch that right side. I don't know if it was just an issue with the different preset selection or what the case was. Some people were able to go like an extra 1 lap, maybe 2 last night, but nobody was able to run their fuel tank dry. Not like they want to do that anyway, but these guys are really going to have to watch the right side, keep that menu up, keep an eye on things. And I mentioned a moment ago that Combat Beast we'll have one of our onboards tonight. That's the only menu he's got up right now.
The 8 of Combat Beast leading in that yellow Chevy Camaro to the outside. The 18 of iRace racing clean, but a bit too high and wide, Pete. We talked about how wide these corners are, and it gives these drivers plenty of opportunity to make mistakes or enter in far too late. However, that 18 Supra recuperates from their mistake back in to second place. Outlawed in that number 38 Chevrolet out of 4 rounds out the top 3, Pete.
Yeah, Outlawed in the top 3. Behind them, Rick, is a Hornet's Nest. And one thing that you're really gonna have to watch also besides those tires is that right side of the track. At various places on at various places, the safer barrier actually sticks out. The 5 Little Tank almost came across it and jacked up the entire right-hand side of his Toyota, but luckily enough, he had a couple inches to spare. Starting to get a little single file out now.
Pete, the cars are getting strung out, and some of these drivers are getting strung out already. You mentioned the 5 of Little Tank in that JF Electric Supra. He was nearly bit by the piece of wall that juts out there. These drivers have to be extremely careful. Now, entering turn 1, the safer barrier also comes out at an angle, and it will force these drivers to adjust the way they approach the corner. Baritone Boss in the 44 right now being hounded by the 15 of King Mathers. Little Tank in the 5 also applying pressure as well. Master Killer in the number 98 Mustang. He hits the wall at a turn number 4, and he's struggling with the safer barrier also.
Man, I had my concentration stolen, Rick, and I apologize. Vols fan, you are awesome, buddy. I tell you. And yeah, Rick James right there on, Johnny on the spot, seeing exactly what's going on. Rock NASCAR with the 200 bits. Thank you very much. And for starting a hype train. Whoop, whoop. Oh, man. How's that old song go? Come on, ride that train. And right man, thank you all very, very much. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted subs. They're going to appreciate it as well. That means they all get that no commercial content. So if I got to take a break, you're still looking at this ugly mug. But, man, thank you very much, Balls. Buddy, sincerely, thank you. All right, so let's keep on going through. And, man, this community, no wonder why Rock was so willing to start up a Facebook page for everybody that does the most, means the most, expresses the most, races the most, cares the most. This is such a great community, Rick.
Love this community, and as the OJs once said, people all around the world, join the love train. Get that hype train going in the chat. Rock NASCAR with 300 bits. I've contributed 102. Let's see who else out there is going to step it up. Let's see 103 or more. We've still got 3 minutes, 30 seconds in this hype train. Vols fan puts in 100. Papa Bear puts in 5. Let's see people ramp this up, Pete. One driver who needs to ramp it up is the 98 of Master Killer, who's by his lonesome in the back after making heavy contact with the safer barrier and spinning it out in turn number 1. At the front of this race, it's still Combat Beast, but now Outlawed occupies the second position in that number 38 C2 Freight Resources Camaro.
Yeah, Outlawed, he's got a nice little gap between, although he'd really like to be as close as he can to that Hellman's Camaro of Combat Beast, he's got a nice gap back to P number 3. Third, fourth, and fifth right now are all nose to tail, and then there's another big gap back to the rest of the field. So these guys are getting pretty well spread out. God, I love you guys. These guys are getting balls. These guys are getting very, very spread out even before any kind of a green flag pit stop or anything like that. So they're doing a phenomenal job. Again, the truck series went green all last night, and they were able to manage it. Nobody actually had an issue of pop tires. They were able to do whatever they had to do. But yeah, 38 of Outlawed, he's got all that he has to worry about right now is just racing the track.
All Combat Beast has to do is keep his focus to stay ahead, but 13 laps into this race, Pete. 8:38 your top two, and the train behind him starts to get a little bit more long. That number 22 Odyssey Mustang being driven by Yotes King, joining this top 5 pack right now. The 15 of King Mathers and the 5 of Little Tank swapping positions out of turn number 2. So these drivers having plenty of time to discuss with each other while the 8 car pulls away. There's going to be 5 to go in stage 1 this time by.
Oh, Rock NASCAR, how do I love thee. Let me count the ways. 999, 1,000. Rock, buddy, old pal, thank you very much for the 1,000 bits. Y'all are phenomenal. This train is gonna go east to west coast in no time flat. I appreciate y'all sincerely, I really do. Pop Bear with the 200 bits. Hell yeah, 100% train. Oh man, I tell you. Rick, I am so blessed. I really am.
Level 4 on the train with just over 4.5 remaining with 4 laps left in stage number 1. 8:38 your top two, but now here comes a switch for second place. Let's see, it's the 44 of Baritone Boss that's taken it away from the 38 of Outlawed. 424 left, 11% through level 4. Let's see those bits climb up and see if we can hit level 5. Holy crap. Holy, oh my gosh. 4 laps to go in stage number 1. Falls fan gets us 99% past level 5.
Okay, but yeah, looking forward from the 5 right now, Little Tank, 38 is completely lost. Just like me, lost my breath. But yeah, 38, even though he had a good little gap back to P number 3, it looks like whatever has gone on, he has completely lost it. And 44 of Baritone Boss, like you said, Rick, he's able to jet on by. 5 now, right now, trying to keep P6, P5 and P6 behind him. Like you said, coming down, 3 laps remaining. The Hellman's Camaro has been in the lead the entire time.
Dominant stage 1 up at the front, but the battle for second place is just 2/10 between these two Camaros. 44-38, Baritone Boss and Outlawed second and third. In fourth is the black and silver Supra of Little Tank, and fifth belongs to King Mathers into that red Camaro. That Hope Foundation Chevrolet now crossing the line. Now 130% through the hype train. Papa Bear with another 100. This is the first time I've ever been a part of a level 5 hype train. This has been an incredible stage 1, and there's a wreck. The 5 lost it out of 2, Pete, and there's a wreck. 3-4 cars involved. We stay green, white flag this time.
I would be very, very surprised if they actually make it all the way back, but from what I can see, riding with the onboard, looking backwards from the 44 Baritone Boss, they are still hard on the throttle. So this Hellman's Camaro, he is going to go flag to flag. He's going to be the first one to see the green and white checkers come on out, unless he has some kind of a problem and the 44 is able to capitalize. But I don't think so, Rick. That 8 Hellman's Camaro has just been flawless through this entire first stage.
That 8 Hellman's Camaro has been unbelievably unmovable, Pete. Certainly, it's going to be a challenge to take down Combat Beast, and I'm very, very excited to see what Stage 2 is going to bring. Combat Beast getting the win in that first stage. Baritone Boss sitting in second. It's going to be the 38 car, I believe. No, I'm sorry. Is that the 18 that landed in fourth there, Pete? It is. I Race Clean.
Yep. Third place is I Race Clean. Absolutely. All right, guys. I gotta take a swig, catch my breath. Y'all are fabulous, I tell you. And I don't throw that word out there all that often rather. But if you're new here, you want to know how to follow NNR, go ahead and check this out. And for the stage 2 break, we got a brand new commercial we're going to show you. Stand by. Holy yet.
Hey NNR fans,
Jesus,
don't
dude.
miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
All right, here we go. Riding on board again one more time with the 8. Looks like he's going to be able to hold serve as Combat Beast throws it down into turn 144. Baritone Boss, 18 of iRace Clean. That's going to be your top 3 through 1 and 2. The very, very tighter end of this track. Rick, I said it last night during the truck stream. Turns 1 and 2 kind of remind me almost like the last turn to Sonoma.
Turns 1 and 2 are incredibly tight, and it does remind you of that slow, wide hairpin. Multiple lines, but really there's only one way to exit that corner, and if the line is off kilter, that goes, the corner goes, and there goes your momentum for the straight. Yotes King, who had a successful stage 1, spinning around on the first lap in turn number 2. He's now all by his lonesome, 14th of 14 cars. The number 9 of Q-Dog occupies second place. Baritone Boss challenging for position.
Baritone Boss doing a phenomenal job. It's going to be great to see exactly where he ends up. The last time I looked, Baritone was doing pretty well in the points. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull up NNRLeague.com right now. And don't forget, guys, you want the best and fastest in league or community merchandise. NNRLeague.com is the only place you need to go, as my buddy Mountain always said, to rep your NNR red. But looking at the Xfinity Series right now, and still talking about Baritone Boss, he's sitting in P number 7, well inside the top 12 to try to make a bid for his first Xfinity Series championship. But old Q-Dog in that 9 car still holds the top spot.
Q-Dog holding that top spot in second place, while the 18 car right behind him of iRace Clean holds on to third. 2 Chevys and a Toyota in your top 3. Now in the 5th position for the first time in the top 5 is the number 1 of Cole 315 in what I personally think is one of the best looking cars in this game. What a great trip down memory lane as they cross the line to begin lap number 4. That one of Cole, Pete, has not been very prominent in the race so far, but stage 2 is where he could come alive.
Absolutely, riding on board right now with the 51 of Honeycutt, looking straight ahead at that Oreo Camaro. I have to agree with you, Rick. That is one of the best paint schemes for anybody that gets that nostalgic feeling every now and then. Whether you're a Dale Senior or a Dale Junior fan, you know what that Oreo paint scheme means to a lot of people. Right now, sitting in P number 5. Really trying to do everything that he can to try to work his way up. And Rick, when they're single file like they are right now, this is really where you can actually make the most time. Everybody's got different braking points. You could try to outbrake them. You could try to outgas them. Have to try different things. Maybe the person in front of you just makes a mistake. Again, very, very different corners getting in here, different braking points, different ways to get off the corners. So a lot of opportunity to get on by your competition.
I think the opportune moments are going to come down the straights, but the problem is, Pete, that getting the exit off the corner is going to be the difficult part. We're part-time drivers, if you will,
yep.
and even you and I know that Gateway, being as flat as it is, means that the entrance, the inside of the corner, the apex, if you will, and the exit are so crucial down to a finite point that the slightest indifference can ruin your straightaway and any passing opportunity. So it's very much a skill and timing based passing opportunity that will be the way around these cars. Heavy contact between the 1 and the 51 through turn 2.
Yeah, watching on board right now with the 20 and Duramax, he saw both the 1 and the 51 that were nose to tail a little bit ago right there go flat up to the wall. Not sure if they missed their braking points or if these two had a little discussion between themselves. via fingers or whatever the case may have been. Cole 315 ended up on the better point of that, but it looks like Yotes King only lost. I'm sorry, not Yotes King. Honeycutt only lost 2 spots.
Only 2 spots, which isn't a terrible situation, but we're more than halfway through this stage now, Pete. So go time came and went. For any of these drivers that are not first and second, they need to start thinking about their stage 3 strategy. As we come to start lap number 10, the 9 of Q-Dogs has been glued to the back of that Hellman's Camaro. But as the adage goes, Pete, it's one thing to catch him, it's entirely another to pass him.
Absolutely. There are a few opportunities to pass. Whether you've got a faster car off the corner, you're able to get into the corner a little bit faster than the guy in front of you, and they make a mistake. Just a few opportunities. But NNR, I mean, these guys are very well known for being able to take care of their car, take care of each other. They've got great track awareness. The yellow flag flies very, very seldomly. So I would hope that these guys all put in the time to practice this week. Actually, Rick, they've had 2 weeks in order to practice, get ready for this place. I mentioned last night, just before the trucks took the green, I had never turned a lap at Gateway until I was actually setting up the information for the stream. This is actually a pretty rough place to try to get around. Others love it.
Very much love and hate facility, Pete. It's a lovely facility to come to, and you hate it if you don't get it right. So for the 8 and the 9, they are absolutely loving this place right now. Q-Dogs has to be loving his performance, considering that the 8 car has led every lap in stage 2 as well. So not only does Combat Beast have a chance to drive for the cycle, he has a chance to pull a Jeff Burton at New Hampshire and lead every single lap. If we could open up the history book a bit, Pete, I believe that race was in 2000 or 2001.
In the X-Side car, absolutely.
Very much so. They put restrictor plates on the cars because of an accident earlier in the week, and it led to Jeff Burton leading every single lap. And that wasn't his only win at New Hampshire. That number 9 Gain car, that gorgeous green and orange Dayglow Taurus, he won a race in the Busch Series with at New Hampshire as well. But enough about Jeff Burton. Let's get back to our top 2 competitors, Q-Dogs and Combat Beast, who are still battling for the lead with 5 to go.
Yep, 5 to go. That Hellman's Camaro is not let loose of the lead all night long. So if he can drive for the cycle, I tell you what, this guy's driving, he's a little sick right now. 4 laps remaining. If he's driving sick like this, imagine if he was healthy. But Rick, just like real NASCAR drivers, they say when you're driving under the weather, you pay attention just a little bit more. Maybe you feel a little bit more, something is up with that. I don't know if it's real or not, but if this guy's driving under the weather and he's able to perform at this level and hold off the series points leader, he's got one hell of a hot rod, and he came prepared for tonight.
Preparation is one thing, Pete, but in the moment, it's when your skill takes over. See in the sports history book, the flu game, Michael Jordan's infamous flu game, running dangerous temperatures and played the game of his life. As you can say with Michael Jordan, many games are, but this is the moment when you feel just a little bit sick that forces the concentration out of a driver. Mentally, when you're in this competitive situation, you can either focus 115% or you're going to drive at 75% capacity. It takes that extra mental capacity to just be able to get in the car and turn laps.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, he is driving his heart out. Not only is he able to keep the 9 behind him, but Rick, over the last couple laps, excuse me, he's been able to extend the lead. And I Race Clean, he's got a little bit of company back there at Baritone Boss and the one of Cole 315. But this top 2 going the distance. One more lap to go. If the 8 can keep it under him, he hasn't switched over to the tires, Rick. I think he figures his bed is made. He's in it for the long haul. Lap 17 of 17. These guys are only running a 50% race tonight because we got 100% coming up tomorrow with the Cup guys right around 8:30 Eastern. Not going to want to miss that. So far, between 20 and 25 cars will be on track. And tell you what, this if the 8 can perform like he is tomorrow night, he's going to wish that he could race in that as well. Stage 2 in the books. Combat Beast, Q-Dog, Baritone Boss, iRace Clean, and Cole 315. Ladies and gents, we're going to take one more quick commercial break. Check out this podcast.
And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Watson takes a snap, rolls right, looks into the end zone. Hunter in front, caught it. Touchdown! Touchdown!
Welcome to WrestleMania!
It's now my honor to announce that the first ever virtual NFL draft is officially open.
Blitz coming. Mariota throws in the end zone. Man is there. Touchdown, Titans!
All right, and we are back. We are underway. Combat Beast able to hold serve. 9 of Q-Dog. Started right where he left off. 18 of iRace Clean. 44 of Baritone Boss. That's the 1 of Cole 315. And, doing one hell of a job. Now, Rick, this is the longer stage of the 3. So this really may be where that tire wear comes into play. I don't think there was any issue in stage number 1 or stage number 2. No green flag stops were necessary. Nothing like that. But here we are.
With no wins this season, he's led every single lap in this competition. Looking to drive for the cycle and pull a Jeff Burton, Combat Beast now gets onto lap 45 of 90, brimming full of confidence, but now these drivers are going to face an element that they have never faced tonight, the dreaded pit stop. Pete, with this track being flat and egg-shaped, the entrance here is more dangerous than at most tracks. Next time by marks halfway, and whatever happens, Combat Beast has driven a career-defining race, but he still needs that second win this year. He's 3rd in points, 60 off the mark from Q-Dog, and what a way to stamp his arrival and his comeback to the top of the table.
Absolutely. Well, one thing he's got to wish, though, excuse me, one thing he's got to wish is that Q-Dog had finished further back than where he did, because there he was sitting right in P number 2, right off his back deck lid. And while Combat Beast got the stage victory, Q-Dog's right there.
Q-Dog on his tail end, 2 Chevrolets, nose to tail, 3rd place, the 18 of iRace Clean, now officially halfway through this race. 46 laps down and a bit of a lag there. I hope that's not the bump creeping up at 10 p.m. Drivers fanning out at the front, but bunching up at the back, Pete. 4th on back looks a mess, and we have a challenge for first.
I'm getting back up there right now, and I'm actually going to go the wrong way. Why not? There we are. 9 of Q-Dog able to get on by the 8 Hellman's machine. Now, okay, so could we be talking maybe about a little bit of strategy here? 8 car says, you know what? I know what I got for at least 20 laps. I don't need to press it right now. I told you, or I mentioned earlier, that he's... excuse me. He hasn't pulled up that menu to take a look at his tires, nothing like that. So he feels pretty confident that with what he's got. And under those 2 stage breaks, they're a whole lot longer than what you'd get during a regular green flag pit stop. I would imagine that most of these guys have their full setup in now. So could Q-Dog have finally found something that he liked, and he's able to to get on by the 8 of Combat Beast? Or is Combat Beast just saying, you know what, you go right ahead, I'll see you later?
A big shout out to a great friend of mine, Mama Vols, is in the chat. Pema Trema says, hey Pete, and I'm sure she is catching on this race here. For the first time, Pete, since the drop of the green flag, a car other than Combat Beast has led this race. That's insane stats that Combat Beast could have that kind of consistency as Q-Dog goes very deep and very fast into turn number 2. The 8 could be playing up to that strategy. Next time by will be 40 laps to go, and we're going to see at least 2 green flag pit stops, possibly 1 if they can stretch it, but we're going to see at least a green flag pit stop to the end here, Pete.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see one. The trucks, they were able to go 30 laps last night on fuel, but only about 25 to 27 on the right side tires. So every single one of these cars will have to make at least one trip down pit road. But if we should happen to catch that caution word, who knows, that could throw in a big old wrench in the game. Bama, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming out, hanging out. We definitely appreciate you, and thank you for making me your #1 stream. I'm just kidding. Always great to see you. Thank you very much.
A great friend to this racing community that we love and cherish so much, because it is quite literally you fans that make these streams possible. So thank you for being part of our community, and if you haven't yet, get your friends and your family to be part of our family. Twitch.tv/repeat1975 is your destination for no name racing action. Completing lap 52, the 9 of Q-Dogs leads Combat Beast out of turn number 4. iRace Clean sits in 3rd. Cole sits in the 4th position, and rounding out the top 5 is Honeycutt in the 51.
Yeah, but old Honeycutt doing a phenomenal job. And guys, in case you haven't already seen or heard, old Rick James here, a little bit of a rebranding. Switch from I'm Rick James 36 over to Rick James TV1. So make sure you give him a follow. You don't want to miss it. The man has absolutely come from Thursday Night Thunder to exploding all over Xbox. So you're not going to want to miss it. Not only right here on Heat 5 either, but over on Forza and wherever else he feels comfortable in calling a race. You want to hear somebody call a road course race when it looks like the cars are going 300 miles an hour? Join his stream on almost every Saturday night, or Saturday morning rather.
Whenever I'm not available, at Atlanta Racing is another wonderful commentator, and we can't forget our man VolsFan88 in the chat. Share the love and give him a little bit of attention as well, not only for his grand generosity, but his commentating skills also. Out of turn number 4, that 99 Supra of Zachary Jason brings up the rear with 36 laps to go. Ahead of him is that 38 car, Pete, of Outlawed, who was in 2nd place for the majority of Stage 1 and Stage 2. What could our leaders, well, previous leaders, now be doing hanging back in 13th?
I have no idea. That C-squared, Camaro all the way in the back, only 1 car behind him. He's got a couple that are fighting side by side in front of him, and just as I say that, they duck in nose to tail. But yeah, this 38 of Outlawed, he was very, very strong in the beginning. Something might have happened that we didn't catch off camera, but his car looks really, really clean. Maybe nighttime just wasn't the right time for him. Not 100% sure.
We'll have to see what comes of this. As always, the pit stops are looming. About to complete lap 56 of 90 in this race, getting a bit closer to the 30 to go mark. Moving up through this field, Little Tank in the 5, a bit behind in this competition. Rounding out your top 5, still the 51 of Honeycutt, who's now challenging for 4th on the 18 of iRace Clean. That number 1 Camaro of Cole sits in the 3rd position as well. King Mathers looking on in the 15, just ahead of Master Killer. All of these aforementioned drivers, Pete, still single file, so it looks like these drivers have strung out and gotten ready to save a little bit of resources for this upcoming pit stop.
Yeah, at least the top 8, top 9 are all nose to tail spread out. Maybe a little bit of a gap between them, but not much. The 51-18 of iRace Clean and the 1 of Cole 315, they are the closest to the top 2. But right now, Q-Dog has broken away to about a, what would you say, about a 5 to 6 car length gap back to the 8 Helmets Camaro of Combat Beast. Again, though, is Combat Beast saving, or is he ready to go? We'll have to see what happens as time continues to wind down. Doing a pretty phenomenal job around this 1.25 mile track so far.
Pit stops have already started. The 99 of Zachary Jason decides to bring his Toyota Supra down pit road after slamming that wall in turn number 2, so he'll lose a lap, but the green flag pit stops now have begun. So whether that is going to be strategy for Zachary Jason or the leaders now have to be aware of their tire wear is going to be another question as well. 60 laps into this race, Pete, 31 to go. The 9 of Q-Dogs has opened a can of a lead ahead of the number 8 of Combat Beast. 1, 2, 3, equally spread apart by about 3/4 to 1 second, coming to 30 laps to go. But the way these cars are wiggling, Pete, makes me think that these tires won't last much longer.
Yeah, and actually, as you say that, Combat Beast was actually just scrolling through his menu. He still has about 50% even on both sides. So he's actually doing pretty well for what he's got left. I want to say 30 laps exactly. He's still going through. He's got to be wondering what does he have to do to catch back up to the 9. Or is the reason that his right side tires are running as even as they are maybe because he's not pushing it? That could be another benefit in that in his favor.
It could be a grand benefit to that 8 car as well. The 9 did scrape the wall heavily going into turn number 3, and that certainly was a product of the lack of grip, Pete. If a caution does come out, that 8 of Combat Beast is poised to do grand damage given his great performance in stage 1 and 2. Those 17-lap shootouts proved that if it comes to the very end, the 8 car will be a force to be reckoned with. But if the 9 of Q-Dogs can stretch the gap and force the 8 car to drive harder, it may just turn the tables in Q-Dog's favor. He is leading the points for a reason, Pete, but the 3 of Combat Beast is more than hungry to take first.
Yeah, Combat Beast is right there, and he's made up a little bit of time. I don't know if Q-Dog is starting to back it down a little bit, figured he's gonna that he might need to go an extra lap. He sees that the 8 is not run as hard as he has. He's seen that he's been able to pull away, and he's just got to wonder, is somebody playing head games with him, or is he just that much faster? One of those things that you never really know 100% about your competition. But as they cross the start stripe right there, there's 27 laps remaining. I want to say with maybe 1 or 2 more laps, they should be able to go the entire way, maybe even a little bit further, because now checking back in with the 8, as far as his onboard goes, his fuel light's not on yet.
Not yet, Pete, and will it be? I'm loving the way that these drivers are just saving their resources so well. It's fantastic, but it's also just turns the wheels, Pete, and you think to yourself, how far can they really take this? It's going to be 25 laps to go next time by. The 9 of Q-Dogs is getting increasingly loose out of turn number 2. The 8 of Combat Beast is right on his heels.
Yeah, all over the, as you would say, Rick, right up his trumpet, coming off the corner, going down the front stretch one more time, literally almost pushing that 9 car. So the 8 giving a little bit of a shove to the 9 into the corner. Did he push him in a little bit deeper than he would have liked? 8 getting an amazing run off the corner. I don't know if he'll have enough to get to his outside. Nope, he's gonna back it down, stay right there, and they're gonna keep it going. Maybe looking to the inside, riding the rumble strips all the way through, side by side, back right rear. Nope, Nose to tail again.
Nose to tail one more time, 67 laps into this race. 9-8 your top 2, 9-8-1 your top 3. Cole 315 in that Oreo Camaro occupies third, some distance back of these leaders, but the pit stops will determine everything, Pete, because some of these drivers may even dare to take light fuel. Some may come in too hot and cost themselves a penalty. We just don't know until it happens. 67 laps in, there's going to be 23 to go. I'm sorry, 23 to go next time by.
Yeah, the 8 car gave the 9 just a little bit of a shot right there. Riding, I was just checking out his onboard to see if anything had changed. Well, we got a battle right here between the 44 of Baritone Boss and the 51 of Honeycutt. Earlier, it was the 51 in the 1 car. Well, Honeycutt decides he wants to race another member of the hashtag JPOD Militia, and he's going to pick up the 44. They continue to go side by side into turns 1 and 2. A little bit sharper than turns 3 and 4.
A bit sharper as well, but it's been a nice effort so far. 69 laps into this competition. Q-Dog's in that 9 car just ahead of Combat Beast in the 8, and you can tell that Combat Beast is really turning the screw just a bit tighter, applying that pressure, trying to force a mistake out of that 9. It's a nice strategy completing this 69th lap, but it could be a dangerous one if the 8 of Combat Beast overdrives it. Coming to lap 70 and 21 laps to go, Pete. These cars get lighter, they drive a little bit worse. Something has to give.
Yeah, something's got to give. You just got to hope that it's not going to be the brakes, it's not going to be your fuel tank. You're hoping that a tire's not going to give. And I don't know what's going on. You figure about 25 laps ago, I said that his right sides were sitting at right about 50%. Well, he has not gone back to that menu, Rick. He is paying more attention out of his windshield than he is to anything else. 19 laps left.
19 laps to go at WWT. 9-8 your top 2, but now the 8 to the inside of the 9. Q-Dogs holding off Combat Beast in the Hellman's Camaro, and Q-Dogs with the high line has the momentum, and he will stay ahead of that yellow Chevrolet into turn number 3, Pete. But the 8 of Combat Beast has now opened the door. It's just a matter of if Q-Dogs will let him in.
Well, Q-Dog may not have a choice. He actually just pulled down pretty close. He's very, very close to that left rear to try to maybe drag him back just a little bit. The 9 of Q-Dog is not going to get the same launch off the corner that he got earlier. Put that 8 Camaro back in the wind.
8 Camaro back up to the top one more time as the 9 of Q-Dogs decides to come down pit road. So that's going to start the pit stop cycle. New leader at the front, Combat Beast, who retakes the lead for the first time in the longest gap since the green flag, where the 8 has led every lap. So we're 73 laps into this race, Pete. We're about 17 to go next time by. That's the sweet spot for the 8 car. Combat Beast absolutely demolished the competition on a 17-lap run.
Yeah, here he comes right now, guiding it all the way down this, just to keep it out of the grass. Keep it, getting onto pit road. Now, Rick, Combat Beast tires, his light came on. He was warned, had only just a little bit left. I think that comes on when you're under 20%. So Q-Dog came down 1 lap sooner. Combat Beast was out there struggling on very, very old tires. It's going to be interesting to see, and we see it almost every track we go to, that fresh tire feel, that bit of a benefit that it gives you. We'll have to see where these two come out, compared to each other when it's all said and done. I'm going to try to find that 9 of Q-Dog right now and, see what the deficit gets to be.
9 of Q-Dog now ahead. This is his time to shine because the pit road delta is in his control. The 8 car still getting tires and fuel, but now down and away. Will the 8 maintain the lead? Will Q-Dogs take it from Combat Beast out of the second corner? Combat Beast now out on the racetrack. Q-Dogs well behind, and the Delta has cost him. Coming to 16 laps to go, the 8 of Combat Beast leads by 1 second in the final corner.
Combat Beast came out with a second to spare, if not a little bit more, and Q-Dog actually pit first. Rick, I've got to say that's probably the biggest surprise that comes to, that I can remember. I don't remember anybody pitting earlier than the next guy and coming out with a bigger deficit than what they went in with, unless Q-Dog had a little bit more of an issue going on to pit road. Maybe he went off into the grass. Maybe he almost missed the commitment cone. I don't know, but this is really interesting. And if we judge stage 1 and stage 2 off of what we're seeing right now, I don't know if the 9 can catch the 8. The 8 has been phenomenal in the short run.
It's been fantastic in the short run, Pete. It's what won him stage 1 and stage 2. And with 15 laps to go, he's hoping it will win him the cycle. He's also on tires that are 1 lap more fresh than the 9. Q-Dogs starting to close that gap, however. 14 to go. Next time by, the 9 comfortably in second place with no major competition behind him.
No major competition behind him whatsoever. I'm actually going through. Looks like the 38 of Outlaw decided to park it after that contact earlier, or maybe he lagged out. Not 100% sure. But looking back to P number 3, and it looks like it's actually going to be the 13 of Commando Grip. I mentioned when I went through the field in the beginning that this guy always seems to find himself inside the top 3 or the top 5 when the chips are down. It doesn't look like tonight is going to be any different for this 13.
Different so far for that 13 car. Commando Griff known to put in a solid shift and continues to do so in that 3rd position. Chevrolet, Toyota, your top 3 with lucky number 13. Laps remaining at WWT. It'll be a good points day for Commando Griff as well, Pete. He finds himself 5th in the points this year with 5 top 5s already and an average finish of 9.5. It will be amazing for his stats.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this guy kind of reminds me of Parzival from last season. I called him my silent hunter. You never knew exactly where he was throughout the track. You'd see him occasionally, but once once it was getting down to closing time, he was always right there at the end. And at the end of the season, when it really mattered most, all that success and everything that he had raced for came to culminate at a win at Michigan during the chase, which locked him into the Final Four. Could we see the same kind of a season out of this 13?
We could be seeing a great season out of this 13. Right now, he's coming up on the 44 of Baritone Boss, but now the 1 of Cole gets to his inside and takes away the 4th position. He still finds himself in the top 5, so no worries for Commando Griff. Meanwhile, Cole, who's sitting in the 4th position right now, sits 11th in points, Pete. He's got 1 pole and 1 win this year, but only 2 top 5s. It's keeping him down in those points, but this would be a fantastic day if he can secure a podium.
Yeah, it would absolutely secure a great day for him. And I tell you what, old J-Paw's got to be happy about what he sees. Right now, his hashtag J-Paw Militia members are running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Q-Dog, Baritone Boss, and Cole 315 followed right there with Commando Grip. So yeah, he's got one hell of a lineup up front, but nobody so far has been able to get on by the 8 of Combat Beast. He won stage 1, won stage 2. Rick, he wants that cycle.
Driving for the cycle right now, Pete. He's just rounded 3rd base and he's headed towards home. 8 laps to go next time by for the 8 car, who's driven a gem of a race. Played that pit road delta to his extreme advantage, and with an 0.8 of a second lead headed into turn number 3, all he needs to do is hit his marks. However, Pete, The tires are starting to wear now. Although it's not extreme, mistakes are now more possible because of the lack of grip. 7 to go, next time by. Any mistake for the 8 car now could be fatal to his race win.
Absolutely could be. In that last corner, he really washed up high, and he was lucky because I'm riding along right now with the 9 of Q-Dog. Q-Dog did the same exact thing. So while it could have helped them maybe gain a tenth and a half, they pretty much keep the same distance that they had earlier. Is Q-Dog just back here really just biding his time? Q-Dog a little late on the brakes, washed up high just a little bit, or might be kind of trying to diamond out the corner right now with the little bit of a deficit he has, Rick. He's got to try anything he can to get back to the back bumper of that 8.
Q-Dogs needs to try anything and everything. Shoot, he should even be praying to the racing deities for a caution, because that would certainly spice everything up. It's less than a second with 6 laps to go, and anything is possible because the 9 is beginning to close that gap. What was 8 tenths has now gone down to 6 coming out of this second corner. That 9 car gets closer lap by lap. 5 to go, next time by, Pete. Q-Dogs is still well in contention.
Well in contention, and he's got to be liking what he sees up ahead. I think he sees his first car that may cause an issue for our leader. I don't know if they're going to have enough time to catch him, but if that car up front is really struggling, very slow in the corners, he could get in the way of the 8. If he's still up to speed, maybe just kind of not quite as fast as our leaders, they may not catch him, but man, that's got to be running through the mind of both the 8 and the 9 as they start to get a little bit closer.
It's going to be incredibly close to this end, Pete. It's now half a second headed into the third corner, coming to 4 laps to go. It looks like that 22 car sitting just ahead. No, that's the 20 of Duramax, that Dex Supra, who's sitting just ahead of these leaders. He could also come into play in these final 4 miles and change, Pete. The 13 of Commando Griff watching Baritone Boss and Cole fight side by side for third.
Yeah, side by side behind them, a couple of very strong guys. And you got 13 of old of Commando Griff back there as well. So still the same top 5 we've had for about the last 10 laps. Rick, we always say the cream rises to the top. Well, the 8, he's Hellman's Camaro, or Hellman's mayonnaise, cream, doing a phenomenal job. That was kind of corny, but that's all right. Really starting to get closer and closer to putting that guy a lap down. Now, Rick, when he gets to the back bumper, does he kind of get into Discord, say, hey man, I'm here, I've got a car hot on my rear end, can you please give me a line? Or does the guy really fight to stay on the lead lap, the last car in the lead lap, and hold up the leaders? Well, we just got our answer. He ducked down low. He's going to let the leaders fight it out.
Tip of the cap to Duramax in that number 20 Dex Supra with a classy move, staying well out of the way of these leaders and letting them be competitive. White flag next time by, Pete. The 8 of Combat Beast has driven a beauty. The 9 of Q-Dogs close behind him in pursuit, but the gap is now 9 tenths of a second into turn number 3. If he can hang on for 4 more corners, Pete, it will be a great drive for the cycle and a great points day for every driver involved. An absolutely magic night tonight at Worldwide Technologies Raceway.
Yeah, riding on with this 8, no pressure from the rear whatsoever. He can let it glide. No reason to really try to worry about braking extra early or where you're hitting any special marks. Nothing like that. Very smooth all the way through the corner, not touching the rumble strips. Rick, off with 4 E's, all you.
To the line, the number 8 Hellman's Camaro secures the win at WWT. It's going to be win number 2 of the season for Combat Beast 24, and that average finish is going to go up. His 4th top 5 this season, his 8th top 10. Q-Dogs coming home in 2nd with his 8th top 5 this season, and rounding out the top 3 3. Pete, I missed our third place driver there. It looks like it's Cole 315 in car number 1.
You got it, Cole 315 in 1. Then we got the 44 of old Baritone Boss, Commando Griff rounding out that top 5. Honeycutt in P6, Yotes King in 7th, iRace Clean in 8th, King Mathers in 9th, and then the 98 of Master Kill is going to round out your top 10. Ladies and gents, while these guys finish up their cool down lap, we're going to go ahead and get one more quick commercial in. You want to know how to follow NNR. If you don't already, please go ahead and smash the link that I'll put in the chat right after this. Definitely glad to have you aboard.
Hey NNR fans, don't miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
Excuse me. Damn. Gotcha. No, you're fine. You're fine. All right. All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks again for keeping it right here. Definitely appreciate you. Big congratulations to the 8 Hellman's Camaro for Combat Beast. We're going to start off with P number 3, bringing another beautiful, nostalgic scheme right back to the top 3. Cole 315, you got me, buddy.
I do, Pete.
Cole, welcome back to the top 3, sir. How are you?
What's going on? Feels good to be back.
No doubt, man. We saw you battling pretty hard with Baritone Boston. We saw you battling pretty hard with with the 51. What was there a certain move that helped you secure this top 3 when battling with both your J-Pop Militia teammates as well as those outside of it?
Yeah, that was some crazy battles throughout the whole night back there. But at the end, if you guys were watching with me, Baritone, Griff, the whole militia back there, we were fighting for third. That was some of the best racing with loose cars you can ask for right there.
No doubt. I'm actually kind of surprised to hear you say that the cars were loose, considering most people pit with about 20 laps remaining. But man, phenomenal phenomenal finish to the night. As Rick James would say, you got that third podium spot. I know the big thanks are out there to the J-Pop Militia and all the guys that you practice with every week to get these races going. But yeah, go ahead and shout them out, man.
Hey, I'm just saying, the other night I talked to you in this booth, and I almost called the shot. Me and Q-Dog were here, but we didn't get 1-2, but I almost called that shot. But huge shout out to the whole militia, everyone at the race tonight. It was a good race, caution free. You guys in the booth, everybody. It was a good time.
Well, you guys make it a good time for us to call it, so thank you for the show that you put on.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys.
Rick James, old Q-Dog, is all you.
Q, welcome back to the podium, my friend. You've got the silver medal tonight after a spirited drive, and you even led laps, given the fact that Combat Beast was more than dominant out there. How did you have how was your race tonight? Did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, it was a good time. Unfortunate, lagged out in qualifying. Would have started P3, but I had to start 15th. Drove up to 5th, stage 1. And stage 2, I was able to stick there with Combat. It just seems like we were super even. It was hard to see, where I was better, where he was better. Stage 3, I was able to get around him and kind of manage a pace in front of him. And towards the end of that run, I figured, oh man, he's a little better than me towards the end there. And I think I might have been a little too conservative on a pit road entry, and that was the difference right there. But a solid run. Congrats to Combat. It was fun battling with him, and good clean race.
It looked like a great time out there. How about any shout-outs for your fans at home?
Shout out to the J-Pop Militia. I think, obviously Cole's got 3. I think Baritone and Griff still finished in the top 5. Shout out to J-Pop for running this, and shout out to you guys every week.
Thanks again, Q-Dogs. Great to have you back. Congratulations on that silver medal. Pete, you have our race winner.
Absolutely. Combat Beast driving a little under the weather, putting in that extra effort, that little extra oomph behind the wheel. Stage 1, Stage 2, nobody had anything for you. Stage 3, Q-Dog, he pit before you. Both Rick and I were thinking, okay, those fresher tires might give him just a little bit extra to maybe pull up next to you or even possibly get ahead of you. Didn't work out like that. I was kind of curious if you had a little extra fuel strategy. Maybe did you just take right side tires? Talk us through that final stage, and then how you were able to maintain that focus being sick and then not paying attention to anything else on the track to bring it on home for the W.
Well, it was a lot more difficult than I thought it would be. I'll be brutally honest with you. Because I thought Q-Dog was just going to run away with it. I'm like, alright, we're going to see how this works. And then probably by 17 laps on a run, his car started to fade. And I have mine built for as far as the tires can go. So I was pretty prepared for when his car started to die out. And I was ready to make a move on him. And trying to survive through this thing is a bit difficult, but it ain't that bad.
Well, man, you absolutely got it done, sick or not. You did a phenomenal job, got the W, got max points. As Rick James said early in the race, everybody wants to drive for the cycle because that means nobody else has got anything on you when it comes to stage points at the end of the year when we're looking forward to the championship. So congrats on those points. But one other thing, very, very big congrats on. Not sure if you saw this during the stream last night, and I'm going to put it up on the stream right now. You've also earned yourself a brand new NNR hat that Vols fan actually went on out and purchased. He got one sent to his wife, and he told Coey during the week, you go ahead and give the race winner one other hat. So we gave one away last night. You're going to grab one, and we're going to give one more away tomorrow night to whoever's fortunate enough and has the right strategy, has the right car to get it done when the Cup Series hits Gateway. So, buddy, congratulations on that as well. You can either reach out to Coey, or if Coey watches this, he'll reach back out to you, get your shipping information, get that out to you as soon as possible.
Alrighty. Cool.
And again, real big congrats to you. Phenomenal race. Rick James, you got anything for our winner?
Just a fantastic tip of the cap to Combat Beast. Beast, in stage 2, I was talking about pulling off a Jeff Burton, which to my definition was leading every lap, as Jeff Burton had done in the year 2000. Did the thought ever cross your mind that was possible throughout this race?
Not really. After I saw Q-Dog keeping up with me, I'm like, alright, he's got a bit more pace than I do, so let's see how this works.
It was still a thrill to watch you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pete?
No, Rick James, I'm actually going to ask you something, sir. Rick, you went through a little bit of a rebranding. It's now Rick James TV 1. Throughout the week, when you're not helping me here with NNR, where can anybody else find you, sir?
Rick James TV on Twitter, here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rick James TV, the number 1. And you can catch me, again, if you said not here on NNR, Monday nights, you can catch me doing ENEA, 9 p.m. Eastern. And coming up February 6th, the night before the Super Bowl, the ARCS Championship kicks off its season with the Color Clash, an IROC-style race where every car is the same but a different color, presented by CorvetteParts.net. That's February 6th, 9 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/Rick James TV 1.
Definitely going to want to go ahead and give that a big old smash, follow it, and make sure you keep the notifications on so you know every time Rick James goes live. He's a man of many, many talents, many different forms of motorsports. You will not be disappointed anytime you catch old Rick James. But guys, that's going to be it for me tonight and Rick James. Thank you very much for coming out, hanging out, chatting up, keeping up with us, and everybody out there that threw all those bits into the hat. Very, very much appreciated. I don't know if I even told Rick, and I didn't realize that the mic was still hot. I don't know if I can repay that. But man, the pressure is on. Thank you all very, very much. I will see you tomorrow night right around 8:30 Eastern, either with Rick James right back in the booth with me, and Word Burton may be here as well. Hopefully he got his Discord sorted out. But one way or another, 8:30 Eastern tomorrow night, the NNR Cup guys, they're going to take their turn around Gateway. We will see you then. Again, wear your mask, stay away. We all want to get back to the